Hey guys, this is Nicholas. I'm here to kind of explain myself, but also to correct myself. A couple days ago, I made a video log actually, about schizophrenia, and it was very much an on-the-spot kind of video. But since then, I actually had to unlist it and then private it and then finally delete it. Mainly because in hindsight, I feel that my point of view was not properly portrayed by me. Now, I know that mental health can easily be a very interesting study of how the human brain works. Society as a whole has the stigma on mental health as either a motivator or a cause for dangerous, bad, or criminal behavior. Some people may be like that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that people with mental health are exactly safe. I'm also not going to tell you that every single person with mental health is dangerous. But I am going to say that people with mental health are just that, people. Mental health is just another way of looking at life situations. Has kind of put the stigma on mental health, or movies such as Sin City, where one of the protagonists happens to suffer from mental health to the point where he has to take pills to understand reality. Another more recent movie is a movie called Split, where the main character suffers from multiple personality disorder, now called dissociative identity disorder. Or even Fight Club, the idea that the character portrayed by Edward Norton wanting to be more than what he is, so he creates somebody who he feels is more than what he is. In all these movies, there are deaths. In all these movies, there are violence and there are criminal and bad behavior. These movies depict mental health in such a negative sense, and I'm not the only one that feels this way, that mental health is something that society as a whole kind of shies away from and thinks is dangerous. Some people might be like that, but the majority shouldn't be judged or feared because of the minority of the actions of few people. My goal is to address the idea that some people may feel that the majority dictates how all of us act, but that's not the case. The majority shouldn't be the mark for how people fear. I am making this video in hopes that I'll be able to have you guys see that the acts of a few individuals, fictional or otherwise, do not dictate or should not be used to judge or be even used to fear people who do have mental health issues. Living with mental health isn't easy, but it shouldn't be something that should be feared. It's just a different way of looking at the world. You can recover from mental health, and it could be used to help individuals live a more fulfilling life. Understanding any situation is always the first step of any meaningful life process. Now with that disclaimer out of the way, I definitely want to go back to the idea that I was trying to portray when I was making the first schizophrenia video. The idea of that video came from a video by another YouTuber by the name of MatPat. Now MatPat does game theory and film theory. Two channels that I love tremendously and I watch almost religiously. In his film theory of the new Joker movie, he was theorizing the idea that the Joker that we're seeing in the trailer is not actually the real Joker, but instead how the main character wishes to be able to overcome his fears and the struggles that he has in life. The concept of making your dreams into a reality may seem like an extreme idea, but it is grounded within truth. The mental health condition schizophrenia, the best way I know how to explain it for the purpose of this video, is the difficulty of separating fantasy from reality. Schizophrenia can be both audible, things that you hear, or visual, things that you see, and that are not grounded within reality or not real completely. Schizophrenia can also be seen as being able to alterate past events or even being able to distort social aspects such as relationships or even social or life concepts. For someone who has schizophrenia, these hallucinations, these fantasy thoughts can change the perspective that you have of the world around you. Now, most people will associate schizophrenia with guys with tinfoil hats, and these guys have thoughts and beliefs feeling that they are being followed or watched by agencies or even the government, while other people will have exaggerations or distortions of in-world relationships. For example, there's a TV show called Perception where the main character sees a woman once and then kind of creates a fantasy world where he is dating this woman that he has never spoken to and never introduced to at all. But he creates something to be able to help him handle the issues that he happens to have in the TV show. Another aspect in how schizophrenia can affect relationships is claiming that relationships with strangers or believing that negative, non-real aspects of actual biological family members actually happen. For instance, some people who have schizophrenia might believe their parents have died. Or even worse, they might claim that the people who live next door are actually their family members and will address them as such or talk to other people as if those people next door are family, and not just in the term of, oh, they're so close to me, they are like family, but that is my actual mother, that is my actual brother, that is my actual father and sister. And some people who suffer from schizophrenia might believe that people who have passed or people who just never existed are active and are able to be interactive within their own lives, such as seeing or interacting with relatives who have already passed, or having imaginary people, friends or enemies, and their interaction in their own mind affects their living capabilities. And there are even some people who happen to fantasize to the point where famous actors or celebrities impact their own lives directly, believing that you are in a position that you are obviously not in to everybody else outside of you. Believing that you are, for instance, a law enforcement agent or the president of the United States or even a vigilante. And even people who believe that there are spies in order to protect those that they love and themselves from unknown entities in the world. In all honesty, all of this seems very far-fetched, very crazy, but it's very real to these people who have schizophrenia. Mental health is a brand new thing, and new discoveries are being made every day. The idea of perspective leading reality can seem very interesting, a study to anybody outside of that person, but that person who is suffering from that, the person who has to deal with that and handle that, it's not easy. It's a daily struggle, and especially when it comes to recovery. Mental health conditions, not just schizophrenia, but other ones such as DID or PTSD or even depression, I believe in my own experience, is a survivalist reaction to life in general. How someone overcomes difficulties in the present moment. In my own recovery from my own mental health, I've learned more about my own disorders to better handle my life in general. I've also educated myself to be able to understand a little bit more about how my brain works, how my disorder affects me, and what it really is trying to do, so that it can better protect me, and also so that I can be able to use these special skill sets to better my own life. For instance, my DID serves me in the way that I'm able to look at the same situation from different perspectives to better find a solution. Or even my PTSD, to know my limitations and to be able to overcome my fears. Mental health doesn't have to be feared, but I do believe it needs to be understood. I'm hoping that my videos help you guys understand that. Not just my own struggles, but also the struggles of others. Understand that we're not all bad guys. We're not all people who do bad things. We're all just people who are doing things differently than you. And sometimes we might be pushed to do extreme things. But the important thing is to be able to be supportive of those who do have mental health issues and help them through their recovery, through their journey to better their own life. And I hope that I did that, or at least I am doing that with my videos. Pat's video definitely helped me understand that a little bit more. Helped me understand the things that I struggle with in my own life. And hopefully I'll be able to talk more about that in the future without having to fear that people are going to see that and go, oh, he's dangerous. Oh, avoid this guy. And trust me, I already get that. I'm black. And I have mental health issues. And I have a criminal history. But I always try to rise above it all, to better myself so that I can become a functioning member of society and to improve my own life. In reality, isn't that what we all are trying to do? That's my time. I gotta get going. But thank you guys for listening. And I appreciate any effort, any advice, any words. Heck, if you like it, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. But I hope that I reached you in some way, shape, or form. That's all I gotta say. I'll see you guys later. And once again, thanks for listening.